Greetings, bones and ghouls. It's time to immerse those Sims. I'm in a bit of a silly mood today, so we're going to look into something special. There are many immersive Sims that are formative to the genre that people get mad about if you call it a genre. System Shock, Thief, Deus Ex, all important foundational games to what we now know as the immersive sim. There's been a lot of games that can arguably be called an immersive sim, including some that are a little contentious about their standing. Sometimes there's even games that are foundational to the ImSim mythos that we've all but forgotten about. The 90s were a long time ago after all. I think I even found one a while back. One day while I was just bumming around a city I needed to kill some time in before something later that night, I was hitting up old used game and comic shops like I do, and it was sitting right there. I didn't think anything of it at first, but I could have sworn I remembered it. Something about that was foundational to the box stacking experience. Of course it was forgotten. It was a console game in the early days of 3D graphics, back when PC games were running circles around everything else. Elmo's Numbered Journey. I think now will be a good time for all of you to check your calendars, or at the very least check the date that this video was uploaded in the description. Yep. I said I would do it, and here we are asking the question no other vent crawler will ask. Is Elmo's Numbered Journey an immersive sim? They're not necessarily asking because it's a tough question, they're asking because that's the silliest idea anyone could voice about immersive sims, but 'tis the season and we're gonna go element by element to get our answer. I mean, what else am I doing today? VTMB2 got delayed again. Also, by the way, I was not planning to record this day, but I got through the script fast and I realized, oh, I repped the Proto Men like last video, and I had my Cybertronic Spree shirt on, and they're awesome if you haven't seen them. I saw them at MagFest. So here's the quick and dirty on Elmo's Numbered Journey. Elmo is on a journey to find some numbers, and what better time to do that than when Sesame Street is having a parade and everyone is there to help him look. Except Oscar, he's not feeling it today. There are 3 friends on Sesame Street who will whisk you away to your own world to help you find numbers. There will be... Oh, you want out? Of course you want out. Come on, time to go out. It's okay, because you can't hear us screaming from the outside in this recording. Where were we? There are 3 friends on Sesame Street who will whisk you away to their own world to help you find the numbers. There will be questions along the way. What secrets await us in these worlds? Where is this parade everyone's lining up for? And what the fuck is a number? I'm gonna have to drop a few tactical F-bombs in order to make sure this doesn't accidentally get filtered into YouTube Kids. I hate to be unnecessarily crude, but that's the nature of this business. Now let's see if Elmo's Numbered Journey has any emergent gameplay. Let's start easy. Can you stack boxes in Elmo's Numbered Journey? No. There is no box stacking to get to higher places. Heck, you can't even jump. I actually got confused early on while playing this because my epic fully formed adult gamer brain didn't quite catch that this game is meant for literal toddlers, and therefore Elmo was on a set path that you could only deviate from slightly to collect those little gemstone things. Spyro does not make an appearance in this game, sorry. Elmo cannot stack boxes. Elmo cannot slip past the guards to get into areas undetected instead of having to fight them. Elmo can't even fight any guards because there are none in this game. Well, how about alternate paths, be it vents or along the rafters in a building? Well, this isn't looking good, as we previously established Elmo is mostly on rails for this game, so it's gonna be hard to find an alternate path. Heck, it's kind of hard to find the intended path because while Elmo is on a set course, he handles in this odd combination of being on rails and tank controls. Like, man, I was a mess on this jet ski thing in Cookie Monster's world, and even on the second and third go-rounds, I got tripped up by the quote-unquote downhill skiing section, even though I think that's a snowboard. Oh, by the way, in pursuit of being an absolute gamer, I completed all levels on all difficulties available to make sure I wasn't missing anything. The only real difference between the difficulties are the amount of numbers you need to find, items representing numbers will appear on medium and hard difficulties, and the complexities of the bonus challenge. I hope you're brushed up on your addition and subtraction skills before playing this one. What about environmental hazards to use to your advantage? Nope. Look, I've already established that this is a near on-rails game where all you gotta do is walk through each of the areas that your free friends on Sesame Street will take you to and point at the correct number as you come across them. The only real hazards are that you can accidentally be closer to an incorrect number that's not quite on your screen, so when you hit literally any of the face buttons to pick it, you accidentally get a miss on your number collection sheet. You only get 2 misses on the hard difficulty, and since you've been looking at the whole time, I may as well mention that, yeah, the game is always going to tell you what buttons you're supposed to be pressing, just in case you forgot. What about a skill system in order to build Elmo to play your own way? What do you think the answer is? What about story elements synonymous with immersive sims? There is a story here after all, with that parade and Elmo's hunt for the numbers, so there could be something to work with here. Let's start with something a little tropey. That's also a good litmus test to see if you have a case of irony poisoning. 0451. Is the number 0451 in Elmo's number journey in any way, such as a passcode, a room number you need to get into, or otherwise? Well, I certainly found a lot of the numbers 4, 5, and 1, so maybe, but shockingly, the concept of the number 0 does not make an appearance in Elmo's number journey. Perhaps it was in the expansion pack, Elmo's Number Journey Guided. Like, even when you get into the hard mode and subtraction gets thrown into the mix when you're tossing balls into the throat of this entity, the sum or difference of any number that you need to make will never be more than 9. What about political intrigue? That's always a big favorite of immersive sims, or at least intrigue in some form. Well, we never see this supposed parade everyone's come out to watch. Big Bird is here though, and that makes it okay because Big Bird makes everything okay. Grover also has quite the setup over here, alleging he has the best spot to view everything, but I don't think that parade's gonna be up in the sky. And it's also broad daylight, like there's no stars out. What exactly are you looking at over there, Grover? There is no meaningful intrigue. You are always cordially invited to find some numbers by Cookie Monster, Ernie, or the Count, who seems to have forgotten how to move normally. And then you have a lovely little walk in their world finding all the numbers before you go throw baseballs into the mouth of the entity. You can also go to Elmo's Playroom, where instead of going to Elmo's world, you go to the tutorial, which, not gonna lie, that left me pretty disappointed. Like, you'd think you get a shot to go to Elmo's world. What about a big twist at the end, which was hinted at in little ways throughout the game, and looking back it all becomes obvious when the pieces fall together? Immersive sims love to do that. There's not even a proper ending unless I missed something. And I did all the levels on all the difficulties, and then when I was done, I walked up and down Sesame Street to see if anything would happen. Perhaps Elmo would be released from the prison dimension where he was doomed to wait for a parade that will never happen while he endlessly collects numbers, or perhaps this is just a game which, according to its own packaging, is meant for children ages 3 to 6, and the devs thought that the target audience wouldn't really be into big plot twists, let alone a story. We're here to get numbers, not learn things about ourselves. Okay, so I have no idea how I've been able to push this idea for so long, but I still have a few more things that we can use as signs that something might be an immersive sim, which we can check against the gameplay of Elmo's Number's Journey just to be as thorough as possible. For starters, does Elmo's Number Journey have flushable toilets? Immersive sims love flushable toilets. No, it does not. Also, while we're talking about potential potty humor, I should say fuck again to keep this out of YouTube Kids. That ought to be good for the middle of the video. What about audio logs? Descendants of Looking Glass and Origin Systems love audio logs. Nope, none whatsoever. I'm not even sure there are any forms of audio players in this game. Music just naturally occurs in Sesame Street, which is admittedly pretty cool, but unfortunately it's unable to give us what would be otherwise sloppy exposition and world building in a convenient format to listen to whenever we aren't in combat, which there is also no combat in Elmo's Number Journey. What about a hacking or a lockpicking minigame? Any of those in Elmo's Number Journey? You know what, I think this joke is running its course, so let's wrap things up and move along so that we can enjoy some other April foolishness. So is Elmo's Number Journey an immersive sim? Of course not. This is a silly April Fool's Day video that, while I know some folks will get unreasonably upset about, I hope the majority of you understand this is all in good fun. I was actually kind of bummed out that I missed April Fool's last year, since I'm actually pretty fond of the holiday that isn't really a holiday and more just than the opportunity to do some lighthearted jokes. Next year we're gonna do Shadow the Hedgehog, by the way, since I can say that now, since you probably won't remember it in a year's time. I don't think I overtly said this before, despite it being apparent if, like, you followed me for a while, but April Fool's Day is the anniversary of my going from a recent graduate doing any sort of low-skill wage work he could while desperately trying to find any kind of job in his field, and finding out the hard way that the job market was so saturated around that time I graduated that the only jobs available to me were ones that I would conveniently work just enough where I wasn't considered a full-time employee and required me to drive nearly twice as far as I did for work already and make about $2 an hour less than I did taking care of cars at a luxury dealership for people that treated me like I was less than human. Honestly, while that job did have certain perks, it probably did more damage to my mental health than the roughest years of adjusting to this. Then, as you might know, back in early 2020, lockdowns started happening and my own county decided to put theirs into effect right on St. Patrick's Day because sure, a population of mostly old, rich, and ornery people and their spoiled adult children that make up the OC are totally going to obey something like that. Regardless, all non-essential businesses were forced to shut down, and we were told that our jobs weren't just gonna go away like that, and they were gonna fight for us as long as they could. They immediately laid us off at the start of the next pay period. I got a phone call on the 1st from my old boss, who also had HR on the line, assuring me that this wasn't some kind of sick joke they were telling me, and that I didn't have a job anymore, and that I'd get all my PTO money I've accrued, but I wasn't getting any new shifts. Yeah, it was really scary at first. I put out what I believe to be some of the worst videos I ever made in that first month, desperately trying to make what was previously like date night money into my living. But eventually I found my stride. It actually worked out really well in the end because my wife ended up getting accepted into graduate school after being waitlisted since a bunch of other students at her school panicked and dropped out, so I would have had to quit anyway. Later in 2020, I got a call from my old boss who sounded noticeably desperate when she asked me if I had found a new job and if I had thought about ever coming back. Telling her that I would absolutely not consider her offer and that she should destroy my resume if it was still on file, and resisting the urge to tell her to fuck right off forever and ever, just for good measure, was one of the top 5 happiest moments in my life. That first phone call telling me I no longer had a job was 5 years ago to the day, and I've accepted that now this is my career. I am an entertainer and a lover of video games, and last Christmas, when I strategically casually mentioned how much I had made in this year, my parents finally stopped saying that whole, this whole social media and internet thing, that could go away at any time, so maybe, nope, no more of that. And while they've always been supportive of me, I think they finally get that this is my job and that it's a job. Like, a lot of work goes into this. I'm just one guy, but I'm doing the work of many. And like, I'm not making a ton of money, but I pay my bills no problem, and that's sometimes all you want. I've long since deleted my LinkedIn and Indeed accounts, and even if YouTube does just cease to exist for some reason out of nowhere, I know that I'll find a way to keep entertaining, and I have all of you to thank for that. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for changing my life for the better. Sure, it's been rough at times. 2022 and 2023 were disastrous for my mental health as the so-called COVID bump slowed down, and at times I worry I might have accidentally tarnished relationships with people I cared about, and some of you too. But here we are now, and I'm feeling better than ever, and there is nowhere else I would rather be. I'm gonna keep doing this in any way I can till the day I die, because I love making videos about video games, and I love video games. I love how you all turned out and forced to support me through Patreon, through streaming, coming to the Discord while it was still open, or just being there to watch the videos and subscribing along the way. I love how we've all been able to not only make my dream a reality, but also through our combined power, we have made other people's dreams possible, like Perry, Corpus Edex, Sorceress, Athanasia, and who knows how many more as the years will roll by. You all not only saved me from a lifetime of soul-crushing work, but you've also helped me to uplift others in the same way. So again, thank you so much. So now that you know a bit of the Char lore and can understand why I say the things I say, let's sign off. Remember that no matter what you do, be it painting, writing, or making fun YouTube videos about your favorite weird little video games, Remember that what you do is not content. It is art. Content is a word that's been twisted into meaning a means to grind up all your skills, passions, and aspirations into a gray sludge meant for nothing more than to make line go up for someone else's benefit, and in no way does your art deserve that. Art is an alibi, a reflection of its creator by the very means of its creation, and in no way do you deserve that. So get out there and fight for yourself and fight for your art by fighting against the contentification of everything. Stay saucy.
You guys just missed it, but I also kind of ruined it. Saucy boy was playing with a toy. But then Daddy walked right through the living room and he was like, oh no, I can't be seen doing this. Can you be seen chasing it? Of course not. You're just too cool for that. Are you at that age where like just everything sucks now and you can't experience joy because you're too cool for that? It's fun to play with toys. Fine. I'll play with the toy. You know what? You want to play with the ball? Bruh. You can't be embarrassed to enjoy yourself, man. That's not good for you.